Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I'm physics teacher from the Mehriya College, Hanif. Today we are going to study the chapter 3 from the grade 10, and the name of the chapter is Geometrical Optics. In our first term, there are 3 chapters included, first, second, and third. As we have studied the previous 2 chapters, so now we are going to study the chapter 3, that is Geometrical Optics. So first of all, you should know that what is optics. As you have studied in the previous classes, optics is the branch of physics, the scientific study of sight and the behavior of light, or the properties of transmission and deflection of other forms of radiation. In simple words, you can say that optics is related to the vision, optics is related to the light, behaviors of light, properties of light, and all the things that are related to the light and vision is included in the branch of physics that is called optics. As you know that light has the dual nature, it transfers in the form of waves and the small packets of energy that are called the photons. In this chapter, we are going to study the 3 phenomena of light: reflection, refraction, and total internal reflection. And I know that you are very well aware from these 2 terms, reflection and refraction, as you have studied in the previous classes. But in this chapter, we are going to study it in detail. So what is reflection? When light strikes to the same medium, falls on the surface of another medium, a part of it turns back into the same medium. That is called the reflection. In simple words, you can say that when the ray of light strikes to the any surface and come back to the same medium, that is called the reflection of light. For example, when the ray of light is struck to the mirror, it turns back to the same medium. That is called the reflection. Here in this image, you can see that this is a mirror. What is mirror? Mirror basically a shiny surface whose one end is shiny and the other is polished. That is polished by a material that is called the amalgam. So this is a mirror. When the light ray is struck to the mirror, it comes back to the same medium. So this phenomena is called the reflection. So the ray of light that strikes to the mirror, that is called the incident ray, and the ray of light that reflect back to the same medium, that is called the reflected ray. These arrows are showing the direction of the light ray. Light ray comes from here, comes from the source, strike to the surface and come back to the same medium. So the ray that comes from the source, that is called the incident ray. The ray that reflect back to the same medium, that is called the reflected ray. And the middle ray, the imaginary line in between these 2 rays, are called the normal. There are the few more terms that you should know: the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection. Basically, the incident ray forms an angle with the normal. The central line, this is the central imaginary line. The incident ray forms an angle with this normal. That angle is called the angle of incidence. And the reflected ray that forms the angle with the normal, that angle is called the angle of reflection. So you should learn all these terms. You can learn with me right now. This is not very difficult. What is incident ray? The ray that comes from the source and strike to the surface, that is called the incident ray. And the ray that reflect back to the same medium, that is called the reflected ray. What is angle of incidence? The angle formed by the incident ray with the normal, that is called the angle of incidence. and the angle formed by the reflected ray with the normal, that is called the angle of reflection. Next, you should know that there are the two types of reflection: specular reflection and diffuse reflection. In other words, you can say that regular reflection and irregular reflection. What is regular reflection? Regular reflection, with this image, you can see that it is very firm. Rays are in very firm way. So when the surface is smooth, when the light rays are strike to the smooth shiny surface, they reflect back with the specific angle, that is called the regular reflection. Regular reflection and specular reflection. In the case of regular refraction, the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. So that's why all the rays are very firm. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. This is the regular reflection. The property of the regular reflection is they converge the way of light at one point. The other thing is diffuse reflection, or in simple words, you can say that it is irregular reflection. How it happens? When the rays of light strike to the rough surface, they reflect in the different directions with the different angles. With this image, it is clear that they scattered in the different direction. When the light rays strike to the rough surface, they strike in the different directions with the different angle, that is called the irregular reflection and diffuse reflection. What is the property of diffuse reflection? It diverges the rays of light because they scattered in the many directions. So that's why it is called the diffuse reflection. So there are the two major types of reflection, as we have studied specular reflection and diffuse reflection. With these images, it will be more clear to you. When this question come in the paper, you will write in the difference form. First of all, you will write that the surface is smooth, the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection, and the rays reflect perfectly and they converge at the one point. In this way, we get the converging line. But in this way, you can see the surface is rough, the rays are reflect in many directions with many angles, and this is the diffuse reflection. And they diverged the rays of light in different directions. Here, this is few description about the specular reflection and diffuse reflection. Specular reflection can be defined as the reflection of light from the smooth surface or from the surface which are not rough at a specific angle, as I have told you. What is diffuse reflection? Sorry. Diffuse reflection can be defined as reflection of light in all directions from the rough surface or from the surface which are not even. So in this case, the surface is smooth. In this case, the surface is rough. In this case, both the angles, angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. As a result, it forms a very sharp and a clear image. But in diffuse reflection, the angle of incidence is different and the angle of reflection is different. Then it results in diffuse reflection because light is scattered in different directions. So in simple way, you can say that it is converging light and it is diverging light. So the laws, so regular reflection, follow the laws of reflection. In this case, the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection and it forms the converging light. It converges the light at one point, it makes a very sharp and clear image, but in diffuse reflection, the light is scattered in many directions. So this is not properly follow the laws of reflection. The examples of the regular reflection is mirror. Mirror forms very sharp and clear image because light is reflected evenly from the smooth surface. And diffuse reflection, example of diffuse reflection is wall. Wall reflects lights in random directions because of uneven surface. So this is about the regular reflection and irregular reflection. Now, what is laws of reflection? The first law is the principle when the light ray falls on the smooth surface, the angles of reflection is equal to the angle of incidence. The first law is the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. The second is the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal to the surface all lie in the same plane. These are the two laws of reflection, and you have studied it in the previous class. Now we are going to study the spherical mirror. Spherical mirror is a circular spherical mirror that has the shape of a face cut out of a spherical surface. A complete circle when it cut into two different forms. When the inner part is reflecting surface, that is called the concave mirror, and when the outer part is the reflecting surface, that is called the convex mirror. A complete round mirror is called the spherical mirror, but when we cut it in the two forms, when the inner surface is reflecting, that is called the concave mirror, and when the outer surface is reflecting, that is called the convex mirror. I'm repeating again, when the inner surface is reflecting, that is called the concave mirror. When the outer surface is reflecting, that is called the convex mirror. Here is more about the concave mirror. You can see that when the inner surface is reflecting, that is called the concave mirror. When the light ray, here the light ray comes, strike to the pole and come back to the same medium. And the inner surface is reflecting, that is called the concave mirror. We know that a cutout of reflective sphere is a spherical mirror. If the reflective surface is on the side curved inwards, it is a concave mirror. The uses of concave mirror is, concave mirror are commonly used as shaving mirrors or by dentists and even in telescope. The reflected image is magnified, but the field of view is limited. Concave mirrors are also called converging mirrors. These are the concave mirror. Their inner side is reflecting. They are also used as shaving mirror or used in telescope. Concave mirrors are also called the converging mirrors. Convex mirror. Convex mirror are the types of mirror. Their outer surface is reflecting, and you can find these type of mirror in the back mirror of your car. Their outer surface is reflecting. Similarly, if the reflective surface is curved outward, it is called the convex mirror. Convex mirrors are used extensively as a part of car mirrors. Depending on the focal length, the reflected image is reduced in size, but the field of view is more. This is very useful for drivers as the blind spots are drastically reduced. Convex mirrors are also called fish eye or diverging mirrors. With the help of this convex mirror, the image is in smaller in size, but it can cover the more field because it diverges the light in different directions. So this is called the diverging mirror. Convex mirror is also called the diverging mirror. Its outer side is reflecting. It forms a reduced image, but it covers a more view or more field of view. Yes. Here I am going to tell you the more terms about the spherical mirror. As we have studied, this is the spherical mirror and we cut it in two different forms. When the inner surface is reflecting, that is called the concave mirror, and when the outer surface is reflecting, when we cut it in this way, when the outer surface is reflecting, that is called the convex mirror. But here we are going to study about the more few terms about the spherical mirror. The central part of the spherical mirror. The center part of the spherical mirror is called the center of curvature. This central part of the spherical mirror is called the center of curvature. The second is principal axis. What is principal axis? The line that passes from the center of curvature, that is called the principal axis. The line that passes from the center of the curvature, that is called the principal axis. Then what is pole? This part, this central part of this concave mirror is called the pole. So you will say that the middle point of the concave mirror is called the pole. Then there are more few terms. What is focal length? Focal length, we show the focal length from small f. What is focal length? The distance from the pole and the point where the light converge, it called the focal length. The distance from this pole and when a point where the light is converged, that point is called the focal length. So you should learn all these terms related to the spherical mirror. Yes. But the question is how you will find that when we are using the concave mirror or convex mirror, how we will identify the where the image will form and which type of image is formed. We will find this with the help of a formula, and this is the formula. This is the formula. What is this formula? This is the formula. I'm pointing it out. Yes. This is the formula. 1 upon F is equals to 1 upon P plus 1 upon Q. This is the formula. 1 upon F is equals to 1 upon P plus 1 upon Q. This F means the focal length, P is the distance of object, and Q is the distance of image. F is the focal length, P is the distance of object, and Q is the distance of image. This formula we will use to find out where the image is formed and how the image is formed, which type of image is formed. This formula tell us the image characteristics. So mirror formula is the relationship between the object distance P, image distance Q from the mirror and the focal length of the mirror. This is called the mirror formula. I'm telling you again, this F shows the focal length, P shows the object distance, and Q shows the image distance. So you should learn these things very clearly so it will help you to understand the other topics. So let me raise it so you will able. So here the today's topic is ending. So this is your home task. You have to write the definition of mirror and its types and its uses. Spherical mirror, then you will write the concave mirror, convex mirror, then you will write their uses one by one and you will draw their diagrams as well. Plus you have to define the reflection, its types. What are their types? Its types is regular and irregular reflection and their example. So you have to solve these two questions in your copy and you have to learn it as well. So here our today's lesson is completed. Okay class, thank you.